Okay, so this is going to be kind of an interesting vlog. I got suckered into a Tony Robbins event called Business Mastery. They called me up. I typically never ever listen or talk to those people that call me, but I actually started listening to them. They got me. So ultimately what it is a 5-day course. It's $10,000 and they sucked me in to come into this event. I felt like I should do it. It was an interesting feeling that I had, that the things they were saying and what I could do for my business and the insight that Tony would bring. So ultimately I gave him my credit card and I signed up and I started going through the last couple months of phone coaching with a coach, not Tony, but someone that works for Tony. It's been really beneficial actually. During those coaching sessions, I actually got a little tidbit of another person called George Headley, and George does this construction course online. It was like a $500 course. I actually called George and he gave it to me for like less than half price. Absolutely getting so much out of it because it's construction based. But I never would have known about George Headley if it wasn't for that Tony Robbins coach. But now I have to literally go down to South Florida near Miami, and I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, to cancel and get my $10,000 back, because their little motto is come the first day, and then after the first day, if you feel like you didn't get $1 million worth of value, hopefully you'll get like $900,000 worth of value for my business on the first day. I can get my 10,000 bucks back. We get a quick price comparison on these two vehicles for the trip down. Ooh, definitely the Prius. Whenever you're going on a long road trip, you always gotta make sure to put plenty of air in all 4 tires. And you generally want to take a Prius to save on gas. Just some quick tips with Jesse Lane. In case you're wondering why the audio all of a sudden sounds super echoey, I completely obliterated my microphone.
So I was getting out of the car, I was holding like my backpack, my computer, my boots, my room keys, I'm checking in, doing all kinds of stuff, and I grabbed my rig with Joby GorillaPod, came off of the camera. And it just fell off, so I grabbed the camera, but I grabbed it by the microphone. And I caught the camera and just ripped this thing apart. Now, I've already super glued this thing like probably 3 or 4 times back together, but this actually ripped out like a makeup guru. But this actually ripped out from the core. So anyway, I'm here
in the hotel, super stoked. I have a super echoey vlog camera now, which is exciting. Really nice spot here. I'm in West Palm Beach or something like that. These classes are like 10 to 12 to 14 hours long. So I'm gonna get some groceries and we'll see. Oh, look at the sunset. Interesting little city, West Palm Beach. So much traffic and back and forth, and it's like if you go too slow and everyone's flying by, you're gonna get honked at, you know? Anyway, see you tomorrow. I hope I get some really good takeaways to take back home to my business, and hopefully I can master my business and get as much knowledge as possible in the first day. See how it goes.
The skills you gotta have. You gotta become a better marketer.
Wow, so that was an experience. So I walked in a little bit before 9 a.m. I didn't get out of that place until 12 midnight. So interesting, the guys in the back of the soundboard would always play a perfect clip based on whatever Tony was saying. If he was saying something like emotional, they would play like this emotional music. They kept everyone's attention by turning the place into like a dance party for about 5 minutes every like hour or less. It was so fascinating the way he thinks about this kind of stuff to keep an audience engaged, you know? This is a nice little spot. One really cool tidbit of what Tony said, here I'll draw it on the sand. So we kind of start out with like this little circle of understanding. This is kind of like how much we can tackle with problems, how much we can understand. We might grow a little bit. There's not much we can control in our lives, like we're a baby. We poop in our pants. We can't really control much. We grow this outer circle almost of understanding. You start learning more things about life and things become more clear. And you can apply this to business. And then there's this problem, right? There's this problem outside of our circle of understanding how to fix things. We don't know what to do, and we try to solve it, but it doesn't really work. And then all of a sudden, there's all these other problems start accumulating past our comfort zone, and we try. And this has been me in so many cases. We try, but we can't figure it out. All of a sudden, we just take a quantum leap, boom, and we figure it out. And as soon as we figure this junk out, no matter how we get there, our circle then becomes this big. Then our circle is this huge circle of understanding and things that we can accomplish. And then you know what happens next? All the problems start happening again. But now they're much bigger problems. But now we can grow a much bigger circle of understanding and what we can accomplish in life. You know, I just thought that was such a great analogy. The wind noise is probably so bad, and I'm so mad I don't have my microphone. Another really amazing takeaway was just the fact that you think of your business kind of like the life cycles of a human being. So you start at birth, and this is kind of like you taking that initial risk to get into business. You gotta go from birth to an infancy. In this stage, you need a lot of attention. You know, it's a race for survival. There's cash flow problems, but your cash flow problems are a normal problem. You know, there's normal problems, abnormal problems, and pathological problems. And in this stage, like for an infant, you're gonna have to change its diaper, right? Is that a normal problem for an infant? Yes. Is it normal for like a 40-year-old adult? No. Then you go from the infant to the toddler stage. And the toddler gets in more trouble. The toddler is mobile, it can crawl around. This is kind of when your business starts hiring more employees, and it's not just you running every little decision. Problems that can happen are just a little bit greater than, or a lot of bit greater than an infant. And this is the point where you have a few more employees, but the owner is still in charge. The owner is still making all the decisions, but there's just a little bit more risk. Cash flow is still a problem here, and the owners typically will kind of refer to their profit as their gross sales, and they don't understand what actually their net profit really is and how much money they're actually not making. The owner just doesn't have a lot of money to hire really great employees, so it's kind of a catch-22. So from toddler, there's the teenager stage, and this is where the business can really get into trouble. And I'm not even necessarily here with my business. I'm not even in the teenager stage. But this is where owners can get a little bit more cocky because they have a bigger team built at this point. Cash flow is less of a problem. You tell a teenager not to drive 90 miles an hour in a car, what are they gonna do? They're gonna take that car, drive it as fast as they possibly can. And what's the worst thing that can happen to that teenager? That they don't get hurt, because they're gonna go do it again. So the teenager stage, you really have to be careful. The sales revenue goes crazy, but the net profit is actually still low at this point. But you have to be careful because you think you're making a bunch of money, but you're really not. And so this is the hardest stage to get past. After this stage is the young adult stage. At the young adult stage, this is probably one of the most crucial stages. As you have more management in place, you have hired management to actually make decisions with you and for you, and you don't have to be there 100% of the time. At this point, cash flow is no longer an issue. You have money at this point, and you have capital to work with. And this is where you learn what not to do. You learn what you don't want to focus on. You don't do stupid things at this point. At this point, 90% of entrepreneurs are taken out. So this is where you really have to be smart. And then there's the best stage, prime stage. This is the absolute zone of maximization. There's a helicopter. The zone of maximization. Your employees know exactly what to do. Your management knows exactly what to do. Your culture is in place. Your whole team knows what they're doing. You're making a profit. This is the prime stage of business ownership. But things can't be like this forever. Every business and every human body will break down. I'm kind of relating this to the human body, right? So then there's midlife. This is where you really need to evaluate. Things are good, but they're slowly starting to kind of drop off, and you can see it slowly starting to happen. Then there's the aging stage where things are slowly kind of starting to break down. Maybe the market is slowing down. You know, people are losing interest maybe in your niche. And then there's the institutionalized stage where, like General Motors, you've been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. You're just an old school company. You're a seasoned veteran. You're a seasoned pro. Maybe you can get it back to the prime stage and do it all over again. A business is different than a human where, you know, YOLO, you know what I'm saying? But then ultimately there could be a death of the company after that institutionalized stage. This can happen. So I feel like I got a lot of value out of this first day. I think next year I might definitely like to try to stay, you know, for the full thing. So you may ask, why did I get my 10,000 bucks back from Tony Robbins? Well, strictly a financial situation, because I'm in the toddler stage and my cash flow is extremely tight. I need to watch where every single dollar goes. Months ago when I signed up for this event, I was hoping by now maybe I'd be in the teenager stage of my business, which I'm just not at yet. I don't have that full team, that full cash flow where it's not a problem and I can really focus on developing myself and developing my mind. I work very hard on developing my mind and being better and better and better at what I want to focus on in life. But at this point, 10,000 bucks for 5 days, it wouldn't cut it. Maybe next year. I appreciate you watching this vlog. I again apologize that my stupid microphone broke. I don't even know how it's gonna sound, so we'll see when I start editing. Subscribe to my vlog channel if you enjoyed this. Give this video a like, and I'll see you in the next vlog. Jesse Lane signing out.